And welcome to another MyMusic. That's slightly different there. I go, well, I lent into the well, perhaps more than I sometimes do. Sometimes it's, hi, welcome to my music. You know, getting the intro right on podcasts is almost as complicated as getting the intro right on songs. Maybe I'll discuss that with my good friend Eric in a minute after this.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
Do you agree, Eric? Getting the intro right on a song, complicated business, isn't it?
It is. Well, start like a saying hi everyone. Thank you, Graham, to having us here, or me here, in this case. But yeah, I think the intro, it's and it's getting a worse and worse in a way because it's becoming if you don't have a good a hook as an intro, because people don't have because of the lack, of that span of understanding what's coming, and people want to see everything very fast. If the intro is not that good, people are swiping, skipping your song or whatever, they go to the next one, right? And and I think I love intros that sometimes takes a 1 minute, which nowadays that's it.
Yeah, can you imagine if Pink Floyd tried to release Dark Side of the Moon now?
Oh,
as an unsigned band, and it's just that one held note for like 2 minutes, and you just it's
it is crazy, right? Well, although I still think people should do what they want, and you can see there are so many amazing artists and everything, but unfortunately the mainstream, it's not allowing you to perform or even to promote that kind of music to everybody, right?
No.
So it became kind of okay, we have we are back to the 2 minutes and a half kind of a song, right? Because oh, what's the next one, come and go like that, right? So yeah, I think a Pink Floyd or any progressive rock, prog rock bands probably would be for sure you not be in the mainstream at all, right?
No, absolutely. It's very noticeable actually in terms of if you buy an album these days. A lot of albums they can even carry sort of 13, 14 songs, but will be sort of sub 30 minutes or just over 30 minutes, which for a 13, 14 track album is well, that's quick, sort of, as you say, sort of under 3 minutes is kind of a, almost a where to be at these days for a song, isn't it?
Exactly. And I think for instance, my generation, let's say, for my songs, the average is 4 minutes, right? Because that was what I had during the 90s, right? With all the Britpop and everything around. And now we are coming back to a lot of I'll not say that's the beginning of the time, not the beginning of time. I mean, in the 50s, right? That was the 2.5 minutes, that will go. Have sometimes even a shorter, version, edit, for the radio and everything, right? But at the same time, I'm making a comparison here. I'm a huge Beatles fan, right? The Beatles it's my band, right? I love that. And if you see what they were able to accomplish in 2.5 minutes or 33 minutes, right? Their album in the beginning was exactly that, 30-35 minutes, and the song, it seems that they are longer, right? Because there's so many different details there, which now it's for me it's almost kind of a block, right? go back like directly there and have like all this that's I don't know, it's the hook, it's there anyway, but like it's the first thing that like you need to listen. It's like, okay, this is like something that I will like and I want to keep it coming and to go all the time. Okay, what I can use on social media. Okay, is this like 15 seconds? Okay, this is what I need to put it there. And then I don't know. For me, it's like it's more like create the song and like listen to the music for what it is. I'm still like an album person. I like to listen to the album instead of just like one song or whatever. But maybe I'm wrong.
I think there's good sides to it and bad sides to it. So I think the good side to it is that it's making people put a lot of effort into every little bit of those 2.5 3 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to really sort of hone in on the detail. You have to really hone in on melodies, because if it hasn't got those melodies, if it hasn't got those hooks, then it's just not going to get the airplay. So maybe there's a good side to that, which is that people are really sort of trying to hone in and get them sort of their melody craft really, really tight. And I think that's good. The danger is in all of it is a bit like when you go to write something for social media, and if you look at anyone that tells you how to write for social media, it will go, you got to start with a hook because you got to get them in. That first sentence, it's got to really grab their attention, and then you really need to follow that hook with another hook, and it basically you can end up with like hook, action, right? And your whole thing's just hooks, basically, just to keep the reader there, or in the case of music, keep the listener there. But the danger is that you end up saying nothing. That's the danger. That the piece as a whole doesn't say anything. It doesn't have a story. It doesn't really grab you emotionally, because it's just it's grabbing your ear, it's making you want to listen, but it hasn't got necessarily the thing that's going to keep you coming back to it, because
yeah, I agree with that. I think like when they start like right, well, nowadays like there are so many, I'm not like trying to say like it's wrong or right, like but now we have so many artists writing a song, like have like a 15 20 sometimes, like writing one song, right, like and like it's like okay, we need to create the hit, right? Like the main thing is still like, okay, it's the hit and we need to create that, and boom 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 boom. And as you said, like if you write a song that's like it's hook, like all this stuff at the same time, and like you want to build an album, or like because you need to still launch an album in a way, right? Like it's a very tiring album, right? You don't have like that kind of for instance, we talk about the Pink Floyd, like in the beginning, right? Like we, those songs, like we had like a kind of we could like take some air, like breathe, right? Like we have like some fight. Okay, now it's go. Oh, now it's coming. Oh, something's coming now. Like there's a bridge. Oh, like we know what's coming. Oh, coming. And now it's like it's that block. Oh no. Now it's very fast. Now it's bigger, like this hook. And now I could go to hook again. I think like this kind of thing, it's like it's getting, for me at least, like I get tired of that. Like for me, like I like the songs that like it can be different as well in the same album, and have that like, okay, it's not a problem to have one song or another, like that's that type of like hook, let's say. But at the same time, I think many artists are in the had that kind of like feeling that like if they are not famous, music like has no meaning. which is, for instance, for me, like I know that like, well, like a 99.999% of chance that I will not be like on the mainstream. Right? I do music, I make my music because that's my therapy as well, right? And like and I was very lucky that like I have like amazing musicians that work with me. But so what I want is to get, or I'm not saying recreate, but like that same feeling of stuff that I like in the past, right? Like that transformation, right? Like and if I can get like something similar, or if I'm doing something that I like and I can listen to my car, say like, oh, that's me, I like what I'm doing here, that's for me, it's already like a great bonus. And like
That's the only reason you should make music, really.
yeah.
That's a great reason to make music. Now, having said all of that, you have a song out, Speaking Silences, and
Yep.
actually you've proved that you can do both. I have to say this, because the first time I saw the little clip
Mhm.
of this song on Instagram, I went, oh, that immediately reminds me of another song, right?
Mm.
Just that you had this little guitar bit with the guitar going, right?
Mhm.
And it sounded a little bit like James, right?
Oh,
The
nice.
song by
Thank you.
James, right? She's a Star by James. It sounds that if you go and listen to that little bit, folks,
Mhm.
and listen to James, She's a Star, and you'll hear the similarities. But then, so that's the earworm bit, you see, which you've managed to do because you've like drawn people in, and it's like, oh, that sounds a bit like, but but then when you, as soon as you hear like your voice coming in and where the song goes or whatever, it's like, oh, this is nothing like that, which is really great. And I think so. I think you've managed to achieve both.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I think you've got that kind of little earwormy bit. You've kind of lent into maybe some sounds of like, going back sort of 20 years ago and whatever, which like bring the listener in to like in a almost kind of retrospective way, but then whoa, I didn't expect it to go like that, and that's great. So you've done the whole gamut.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, like it's when you say that like about James, like I really like, James is one of a great like a band, and like they are one of like the beginners of the Britpop, right? Like the '90s, and then like everybody came after that, right? Like Oasis, like everything. And what I think it's interesting, this specific song, like it's for me, this is the most '90s song that we have. It's like on the second video clip, right? Like it's two video clips that we launched, right? With the
Yep.
performance, and then like we have the short film. The second, like we have a lot of Easter eggs, and you can see like a lot of Easter eggs of bands from the '90s there as well. Some bands from the '90s, okay, that was our influence. So I think like what do you want to show? I think like with this song, it's exactly that, right? Like it's where we're coming from and where we're going to.
Yeah.
Right? So like although we still have that kind of a vibe, like people can recognize and say, wow, I like James, I like some roses, I like Oasis, I like Blur. Oh, okay, great. Which band is this one now like doing something like a little bit different? What's the next? We are the children of the '90s, let's say, right? If the '90s are the children of the '60s, right? Like we basically are the children of the '90s now, right? Like after the Manchester and like the Britpop and all this stuff, right? Which I think it's amazing.
Yeah. Why was that era so special to you?
Well, I grew up on that, so like literally that was like. So I started like I love music. Like I'm very eclectic, to tell the truth. Like I have a master degree in bossa nova, like which is a Brazilian music style. It's not related to this, but like I always like love the Beatles. Like since I was like very young, and the '90s, like I was a teenager, right? Like starting like with all that.
It's when music really means something.
Exactly. So that was like I like knew the stuff that like my father showed me, like Led Zeppelin, The Who, all the big names, right? Like Pink Floyd or whatever. But then in the 90s, I was okay. Now it's my turn to be the one like listening to the first time, right? So I remember like I love Oasis, I love Blur, and like Radiohead as well. Like I remember like when I listened to OK Computer of Radiohead, for me was like wow, like
mind blowing, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh, like that was like it for sure. It's on the top of my like it's like the White Album of the Beatles, and then like OK Computer of like it's so for me it was like listen to something that was very different from like what they were doing, but at the same time similar, if that like makes any sense. Like
totally.
That like made and again like all those like for instance like this weekend I went to see Stereophonics, right?
Oh, right.
Like, for the first time, right? Like which was great. And like so like to see and get that vibe, I think like and being recognizable like for some other people, like you just said, like James, right? Like the first time that like somebody said like that we sound like James a little bit, so that's great, thank you. But like I think like you make like our fans, let's say, oh okay, I like these guys not just because the way they look, the way they move, but because of their song. Because I think like if it was about my looks and my move, like nobody will be following us.
You're not. Oh right, you're not like on TikTok doing, great dance moves for the future.
No.
I've tried it. You should try it at least once, I think, in your life.
Exactly. Maybe it'll be fun, right? Like,
yeah. I think it's quite cathartic. I think everybody of a certain age ought to just disgracefully dad dance on TikTok. If you haven't done it, folks, try it. Perhaps we could just start a whole nation of people dad dancing. But the main thing is don't take it seriously.
No, yeah.
I think there's nothing worse than when you get like mums and dads dancing on there and they're doing all these dances that their kids are doing and they like really seriously think that they're quite good. Just know that you're rubbish. And it's fine, it's embrace the naffness of it. I think, actually, in all seriousness, I think that's an important thing to learn in life in general, isn't it? To know where, you sit, where you can sit comfortably within doing something where it is quality. And it does make sense, and then know where like you perhaps shouldn't sit in there. I mean, you're probably not gonna try and outplace Sabrina Carpenter or someone tomorrow on Top of the Pops or whatever the program is these days. But that's the point, is that why would you even try, right? Yeah, and it doesn't mean to say that you couldn't necessarily like get known in a bigger way and actually get more more traction or whatever. But it would come from more subtle areas. I feel. Yeah.
It's like I think like what happened. I used to say that like with like even like my previous band, and like I feel like it's almost like like a blues bands, they have like a very niche like followers, but the followers are great because they know that like everything that they are doing, they love that. And I think like it sometimes is more encouraging for us to think in that way instead of like okay, now we are viral on like whatever platform because we are funny or whatever, but because like people like what we are doing, right? So
I love that. We're on a mission from God, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
let's take it back to the Blues Brothers. Let's just every band just take that as a thought pattern. We're on a mission from God. we love what we do, and we're going to take some people with us. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but it's going to, you know, we're going to take an audience.
Or if they have a time, like they can have like a 1 or 2 cups of tea.
Yeah. And also, do you know what's great about that film as well? That film actually shows that sometimes you'll be in the wrong place as well, and you just have to adapt to that. You know, that great scene where they start playing Rawhide. You know, I mean, it literally speaks to like volumes of musicians out there. We've all been there, where we know that we're in the wrong environment with our music and in front of the wrong people, and it's just about, you know, let's just do our version of this, you know, let's be authentic to us in this moment. So yeah, no, that's,
well, if you are having fun, you know, and like you like what you're doing, you know, you need to please yourself first, right? Don't think about like the rest, right? You have like I first try to please myself first, and then like try to please the band, and then we go to the rest. If that works, you know, great. If not, at least I'm happy with myself, what I'm doing.
Absolutely. Now, listen, I've got to ask you about Lost Pitch, because it is a great name. Where did that come from?
Okay, so like I'm in the marketing like area, like so we have a lot of
pitch as in pitch.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought like, oh, that could be a good thing. It's a lost pitch because of that, but also the pitch because of the voice, the sound, and everything, right? It could be like the pitch that is lost. Like literally, we're lost not because we are lost, but because it's the sound that we're doing is lost in a way. That people maybe just like it's almost like you know, like you are like a paleontologist and you found like a new like a bone of like a T-Rex or whatever, like dinosaur.
Yeah, that's where I was going with it. I was going with the kind of almost metaphysical, you know.
Yeah.
But it was almost a bit like in the same sort of vein as when, you know, Marillion put out an album called Sounds That Can't Be Made. I was going in the same kind of vein as that. It was kind of this mythical lost pitch that, you know, maybe only certain people can tap into.
Yeah, like, and it's totally true, right? You know, like some people like will love it, and some people hate it, or like it will not make any difference for them, right?
Yeah.
So that's for sure. So like that was like
I love the fact it comes out of like a sales pitch type thing. That's
yeah.
It sounds a lot sexier than sort of Lost Pipeline, doesn't it? Or, you know.
It's true.
Yeah. I haven't built my pipeline properly, which you know, could be a punk band.
Oh, it would be cool.
Pipeline Dream, something like that. That could be an offshoot. So what a Lost Pitch look like as a band? It's you, as you say, and a group of other musicians. Do you do most of the writing, then the others come in?
Yeah, so like kind of everything started as a project like during COVID, to tell the truth. You know, I would say, okay, like my other band, you know, like we kind of stopped like rehearsing and doing other stuff, and we say, okay, I have like so many songs, and I started to say like, okay, I'm started recording myself and working with like some producers or whatever. And then like I had like a friend like that's also like a producer, that's Leandro, that's like the bass player of the band, and we start working on the EP. And like we had like also he had like a friend, you know, had like another drummer, and like we put everything together. We show like, look, this is what we are doing, and this is where we're going to. So yeah, the songs will be basically, or will be my songs, like, or sometimes like Leandro and I, we work together in a couple of songs. There's some songs like in the album that we are recording right now, like you have like some of like his like own thing as well, like his composition there. But like that is how I kind of everything came, was like a, you know, I have my things I want to put out there. I want to have like you know, a kind of even like if it's for archive, a family archive or something, at least I will have that like recorded, like and done the right way. And literally, I put everything that I could, like in a way to have like that's a good sound. So like for instance, like the first EP, like we use like even like a tape, we record analog, because when I recorded the first song that was Do You Have Time as this band, for me I was like, okay, I want to go bonkers and like create like the sound that I love. So we did everything analog, and like and then we sent to Frank Arkwright like to Abbey Road Studios to do the master of the EP, and we love it. And then he did like also like Speaking Silences, right? And that like again, he did all those bands in the 90s, right? Like Johnny Moore, like Blur, like Bell and Sebastian, like bands that Bell and Sebastian is more like 2000s, but like like all those bands that I like. And they said, okay, this is the guy that needs to do the final push, and that's like how everything came. It's more like to showcase like some of the stuff that I have, like some songs are even like older, like it's not like that I already have like in my in the bag, and we're putting in over and like starting like recording everything, right?
You can hear that in the quality of the production. It's brilliant.
Thank you so much.
The production, it really is brilliant. I mean, it's there's a lusciousness to it, which is lovely. You can hear like individual sounds really, really clearly. It's really quite beautiful, and it seems like you've put an awful lot of effort into like the whole look, feel, sound, etc., even down to the artwork there. Which for some of you now will be the wrong way round, and for some of you who are listening, you can't even see it, so you just have to go and check it out. But I mean, that logo in itself is kind of, it's almost like a modern take on a sort of 1970s kind of logo, etc. The actual text type itself is a little bit more modern, but the style. It's
a current vintage logo.
Exactly that. You could almost see that on a vintage clothes store, or the the front cover of a Crosby, Stills and Nash album. It could fit either, couldn't it? Really. So it's kind of perfect. What's next for you, Erick? Where's this all going?
So now we are recording our like album, the full album. The idea is like be launching like some singles until we reach the album. Like so, Speaking Sides will be part of the album as well. We'll be launching like a new song like end of next month, I believe.
Wow, right. Cool.
And then another one in July, and the album will be like in the second half of this year. And like it will be some stuff may change, right? Like we're still like in the process, but should be around like I think it's 11 songs. And yeah, and
but not 20 minutes.
No, will not be 20 minutes. It will be, as you see. I don't know if you listen to the EP, like we have like even like here the EP is here, right? Like that's the vinyl and everything.
Yeah.
This is already like 20 minutes for songs, right?
Yeah, exactly, right.
So like you can.
That's the A side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So probably you'll be something around like the 40 minutes at least, right? At least it's almost like a little gig, right?
Yeah,
a little concert.
I've got to ask you if because your music would suit that so well as well. But I mean, if you could get maybe a sort of guest guitarist or somebody in just to do one little thing on one track, who would that be?
Oh man, there are so many guitar players that I would love to work with. I start playing guitar because of Eric Clapton. I don't sound like Eric Clapton, of course, but like he was like but I think I would love to work with like John Greenwood. Like I think like not just because of the guitar, but because of the sounds.
Yeah.
It can bring to the table, right? So I think Johnny, if you've seen this, like, we're here.
Okay. He might have to take a bit of time off from the smile to.
Radiohead is coming back, right?
And Radiohead's coming back as well. I mean, it's just a crazy time for music at the moment. It's great that a lot of bands from that era are really sort of coming back very strongly, aren't they, at the moment, which is great because I just think it's, there was such great songwriting.
Yeah, and it's to tell the truth, like that, it's helping us. So like when we launched like the EP with everything, like was when like we have like Oasis coming back, right? And like we basically like launched that, and then Oasis said like we are back like 2 weeks or whatever after, and like okay, so our style of like music now, like other people want to listen to us as well. Great, yeah. Thank you, Oasis. Thank you, Noah. Thank you, Leah.
Blur had a new album out last year. Obviously, they played the.
I went to Wembley to see their concert. Right, yeah. That's amazing. By the way, I don't know if you saw on the video clip on the Speaking Silence, like we have like a me like a coffee TV. So like we see the lady like drinking like it's just like we tried as again, as I said again, like just. Little Easter eggs in the video there, like that you can find all that. So like it's helping us out, like the 90s of these bands coming back, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, we're gonna tag Johnny in. Hopefully, he might get the call and pop round for a bacon sandwich and a. Well, I don't know. He might be vegan, and
we can have like some tea, right? Like
a cup of tea. I'm sure he's a cup of tea person, and put something down on the track. Erick, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. Thank you so much for coming on MyMusic. Lovely group of guitars there in the background as well. We've had lots of people have them up on walls, but you've got them in their cases ready to go, which means that hopefully you might be going out on tour at some point and letting people listen to this. Are you coming over to our part of the world in the southwest of England? That's all I want to know.
Wow, I would love to.
Right,
like that's like it's our goal, right? Like we'll start here in Canada, right? Like do like the concerts here, like, and then why not like go to UK and like anywhere that we can go, right?
Listen, promoters, if you're watching, if you fancy getting a Canadian band over who are really rather good, that would be marvelous as well. Thank you, Erick. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
Folks, do go and check out the music of Lost Pitch. Go and check out the current single. Add it to your playlist, as I will be straight after this show. That will be added to the MyMusic podcast playlist, and you can then catch up with it there, and then go on and investigate more of the band's material from there. As with other episodes of this, you can catch up at mymusicpodcast.com, and remember, now you can also join the MyMusic community, which I shall be inviting Erick to come and join after this, and that's simply at mymusicpodcast.com as well. There's a link in there where you can do that. Folks, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, good. If you haven't, tough. And we'll be back soon with more of the same. But until then, bye for now.